Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Building Figures with Pearl. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It has been forever. Guys, I have promised videos, but life got in the way. And so here I am. Finally. It has been a while, 2 years, almost 2 years. My last video on YouTube was almost 2 years ago. So it has been an extremely long YouTube break. But I promise that after this video, then there will be more videos. And so, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscription button. You do not want to miss any of these videos that are coming after this one. And also share with a friend, somebody you know may be interested in this type of content, just as how you are interested in this type of content. Before we get into this video, this is definitely worth a life update. A life update is needed before we even talk about anything else. So, life update. Guys, life has been lifing for the past 2 years. If you have been following my social medias, my Instagram, my TikTok especially, you would have known that I went back to finish my degree at UTech, and I finished my degree. Your girl graduated from UTech and everything, and God has been really faithful. I am extremely happy. I got my bachelor's degree, finished with not one but 2 scholarships. Yes, your girl was awarded the Jamaica Observer Scholarship, one of the Jamaica Observer Scholarship recipients of 6, in addition to the fact that I was also awarded the University of Technology 65th Scholarship for Outstanding Academic Achievement. So I definitely went back and did a thing there. And again, God has been just extremely faithful. I'm going to try to cram everything in this video so that you know where we are at, what I've been up to, what I've been doing for the last 2 years, etc. But building figures is definitely happening. We're still building figures, we're still building wealth, we're still building our lives, we're still building mentally, financially, physically, and spiritually. And if you know, you know. In addition to graduating with my bachelor's degree, I also passed the Jamaica Realtor board exam. Yes, so I did the real estate exam in Jamaica, and I definitely passed. It was not easy, trust and believe. If you see people in Jamaica working in real estate, don't bad mind them. The exam is very hard and the course is very short, but it is a lot to consume. But again, I can always say just God has been faithful. And so I actually took the exam and I passed the exam. I haven't obtained my license yet to start practicing real estate, but I'll definitely do that before the end of this year. It is definitely on my to-do list. But I passed the exam, which is the first step in being a real estate agent in Jamaica. So that is awesome news. So what else has happened in my life since then? So I graduated, passed the exams. I feel like most of the things that have happened in my life recently are like academic achievements. I've really been focusing on academic achievements. So nothing great has happened in my personal life. I mean, there's always like great things happening in my personal life, but if you know me, you know I've been in the same relationship for a very long time. So life is going. But on top of all of that, and the part that I know that everybody has been wanting me to talk about, you've been waiting for a video about it, is the fact that I packed up my dulcimina from Jamaica and moved to France to be a patisserie intern for 6 months. Guys, let me tell you, let me be the first to say, Coming to France is literally the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I've never done anything this drastic, to say the least. Now, be reminded, I don't speak French. Apart from the 1 year of French class that I had in grade 8 at Knox, big up Knox all the time for exposing us to different walks of life. I'm blessed and honored. But apart from that, I've never taken any French courses. I've never learned French. I've never actively tried to learn French. I had no interest or intentions in doing anything of this sort. And when the opportunity presented itself, I actually toyed with it for a while. In fact, when the opportunity presented itself, I thought about it and I was like, okay, but one, it was a very expensive endeavor in comparison to other things that I could do or that other people are doing. It is extremely expensive. And so when I thought about it, I was just like, okay. And so I shoved it on the back burner, to be honest. And so my last semester at UTech was very interesting. It was very hectic. I had, the whole ton load of major projects and everything was being thrown at me. And so after my last semester, and I completed my last semester successfully this summer, I went overseas to work as usual, work and travel. And I was overseas and I was wondering, what is next? Like, what am I going to do next? Like every college graduate, what is the next step? Applying for jobs, reaching out to people, etc. And the opportunity came back around. And I was like, okay, well, if this opportunity keeps on bouncing at me, then obviously this is the path. And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, but this costs such and such amount of money, and the entire France process, I'll definitely put in another video. But for now, I was just so out of the fact that this costs so much, and trust and believe that your girl, if I decided to do that, that would just wipe out all that I would have worked for the summer and etc. And so I toyed with the idea for a while, and then it just came forcefully. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm a person like this. If it is that I believe that if the Lord wants me to go down a certain path, He will start opening the doors and opening the ways. And that is exactly how I've been living my life thus far. If it is God's will for me to do it, it is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, then it wasn't God's will. And so all of a sudden, I was like, okay, I'm going to start a process. And things just started working out until when persons started asking me, what am I doing after the summer? It just started rolling off my tongue that, oh, I'm going to France. And I'm like, until one point, I was just like, why do I keep telling people that I'm going to France? But it's like I couldn't help myself. It just became so real to me. And the process started going through, and it started going through even quicker than I expected. And before I knew it, I had a date to go to France. And then I was like, okay, now it is for real, because I have a date and I've, started paying for the process and whatever. And all of a sudden it was going through. I applied for a job. I got the job in short order, did the interview and everything, and it just went through. And I was like, okay, I guess we are going to France. And even so, when I was talking to some of my friends, and they leave it to Phil to pack her bags and travel across the world to somewhere that she's never been. She don't know anybody and she doesn't even speak the language. And it just worked out. It really just worked out, and I started trusting God in the process. And if I'm sorry if you are not a God person, I don't mean to offend you, but I am very, very inclined to my spirituality and my relationship with God, because I feel like that is the reason why I've made it to where I am. And so the France thing worked out, and I got a job, and before I knew it, I was heading to France in January of 2024. Now, leaving from Jamaica to France is a big deal. Not only is it a big deal, it is a very, far journey, of course. In addition to the fact that the flight is quite expensive and everything like that, but God definitely worked it all out. I came to France, and the first place I went to when I got to France was I went to Montpellier, and I did 2 weeks of language training in Montpellier. And listen to me, when you don't know French, you just don't know French, because the 2 weeks of language training, I love you guys. You guys know I love you at the school. I love you so much. But the 2 weeks of language training, I was still not able to maneuver the language. I still was not able to, speak. And even though I could say, the basic greetings and whatever, like you would see on TV, I was still not able to articulate myself in the language. However, my 2 weeks in Montpellier was well spent. I lived with a host family. It was wonderful. I met some beautiful people from around the world, people from Chile and Spain, and it was a great opportunity. It was a great experience. The lecturers, the teachers were really patient with us. We were all at different levels. There were some of us, and even my friends from Brazil, oh my goodness, excellent people. Some of us were real beginners with French, and then there are some of us that were intermediates, and then there are those that were extremely advanced. And the truth be told is that those who were advanced never allowed us who were beginners to feel as though, you don't know anything or whatever the case is. They really were patient with us. The teachers were really patient with us. My teacher was awesome. I love her. And it was a great experience. Saw the city of Montpellier, went on a few excursions, saw another city, went to Set, and it was really great. It was great. My family were French Algerians, and so the cultural exchange was very interesting, to say the least. And I don't mean interesting in a bad way. It was interesting in a magnificent way. I've never actually lived or interact with people of such culture, and so the food was extremely different, but it was really good, and it was just an eye-opener. And then after my 2 weeks in Montpellier, it was time for me to journey to where I currently am and where I'll be working. That change, it was very different. Where I am is a lot warmer than Montpellier, and it is a lot more tropical. It's still a bit chilly comparing to Jamaica. Jamaica is extremely warm. It is extremely sunny. It's extremely windy. Here it is warmer than, of course, the north of France, but the south of France is definitely a good climate, and it's good for the change, because I feel as though if it is that I was working in like the French the Alps or somewhere colder, it would have been a very difficult change, because obviously Jamaica is not cold. And so because I'm starting to work in the winter, where I am in the south of France is quite ideal. And so I started working at a bakery / boulangerie as a pastry intern, a patisserie intern. That entails me working in patisserie, which is pastry making, creams and different types of pastries, desserts, etc. In addition to the fact that I work in their garmager which they call snacking, which is making sandwiches, gourmet sandwiches, salads, etc. And I also work in boulangerie, which is a bakery, where I'll be learning to make breads and croissants and etc., etc., etc. So that have been a very, very fulfilling experience. It is very different from Jamaica, of course. It is a very fast-paced environment. It is quantity baking, it is industrial baking, so you're making a lot of things in large quantities, so it takes getting used to, especially if you've never worked in patisserie, or if you've never worked in a bakery before. I've worked in a bakery before, but it was extremely different. The quantities were extremely different, especially the fact that in Jamaica we make a lot of cakes. We do make a lot of cakes, we do make chocolates, etc. But in France, a lot of things are pastry, which is made by doughs. So we do make pies and stuff, but not as on a large quantity as how it is made in France. Pastry is the creme de la creme of France. The industry, the pastry and bakery industry, patisserie and boulangerie industry in France is very large. And it is a very mobile industry. So a lot of young people in France are very, very, very keen and inclined to wanting to work in patisserie. And so it is a very, very important industry here in France. And so I feel very, very blessed to be able to work and live in an environment such as this. My chef is actually in his past restaurant, he was the patisserie chef at a 2 Michelin star restaurant. He's been doing this for a very long time, over 30 years of experience as a patisserie chef, and he is extremely good at what he does. And I feel very, very blessed, very, very honored to be working with him, working alongside him, to watch him work. Sometimes it is very, very fulfilling. He's a very creative individual, very, very professional, very keen to detail, very, very meticulous at the core. And it is I feel extremely, extremely blessed to be in such a position. There are other interns. I'm the only international intern from within my organization at the moment. They do have other international interns that have been here before me and will come after. They do hire international interns all the time. But at the moment, I am the only international intern. All the others in France, they call them stagiaires. All the other stagiaires are from France, and they are very, very good at what they do. Some of them are extremely young, some of them are older, but they are very, very professional. They are very good at their job, and they know exactly what they're doing, because all the other stagiaires are also going to patisserie school, so they're in school learning pastry, learning bakery as well. And so it is a very, very good learning environment. On to the language. How am I dealing with the language? First of all, I am very, very blessed to be able to learn hands-on. So my French, I've been told that my French is getting better, and I'm trying my best. I try my best to have as much conversations as I can. There are some of my coworkers who are bilingual, and not all of them. Some of them do try their best to speak English as much as possible. We try not to use Google Translate as much. We really try to communicate verbally. But also, some of my coworkers are trying to learn English as well. So they also love the fact that I speak English to them, which is good. And so it is both a learning curve on both ends. I'm learning French and they are learning English, and so it is working out. Is it difficult? Absolutely. It is very, very difficult. You won't always know everything off the bat. The recipes are in French. Sometimes when you're moving quickly, you can't even find the word that you're trying to say what to do next, So it is very difficult. It makes the work 10 times more tiring, because now you're not only working physically, but you're working mentally. And mental mentally tired, being mentally tired and being physically tired, that is extreme fatigue. There are persons who will tell you that their work is not physically demanding, but it is mentally demanding, and so they are tired. Imagine when your job is both, because it is physically demanding and it is mentally demanding. But you know, your girl is always up for a challenge. I have traveled since I've been here, and I will be doing more traveling to see other countries outside of France, which is so exciting. I've seen a few places, and trust me, Europe is stunning. France is stunning. France is really, really beautiful. France has so much history and art and culture, and I absolutely love it. There's always something to see, and there's always somewhere to go, and there's always something to indulge in, and it is beautiful. A lot of the trips that I've done by myself, so I've been doing a lot of solo traveling. And listen, solo traveling equals soul searching. I absolutely recommend solo traveling, because you will literally connect with yourself in a very, very deep way. Just in depth connect with yourself, and it is just so fulfilling. It is extremely fulfilling. I've met people along the way, people that I know that we are going to be friends for a very, very long time, and that is also beautiful. And then outside of France, because I get to go to all the countries in the EU, the visa that I've been provided with, whenever you are entering into the EU, you are able to go to everywhere in the EU, every country in the EU. So I'm doing my best to see as many as I can, and most places are a train ride away. So that is my favorite thing about Europe. A train ride can literally land you in a whole another country. And that for me is so beautiful. Literally, Italy is literally right down the road from where I am. It's literally an hour drive. Italy is an hour drive from where I am currently living, and that is so beautiful. Switzerland is not too far either. No, to be honest, nowhere is far. Nowhere is literally no. To be in another country is not very far. And especially if you have been to the US, if it's like driving from Connecticut to Jersey, it definitely feels like that. And if you have driven across the US, then you know that to get to some places it will take you like 13 hours, 15 hours drive. Europe is the same thing. It's just that 15 hours literally you can drive across 3 whole countries. But it is a beautiful experience. I look forward to all that this experience will hold. I look forward to making other videos about this experience. I will keep you guys updated as to how this is going. I'll also give you more details as to, you know, what the internship entails. The process was extremely simple. The hardest thing about the process was the amount it cost, to be honest. The process itself is not very hard, but I will definitely do another video. I'll keep you guys updated. Keep following my channel, keep following my social media, keep building figures. I love you. See you in the next video.